Hello everyone. Today's concept is about unification of Italy, which is one of the important 5-mark question in your CBSE Board examination and has been repeated in your board paper several times. So it is very important, and we are going to learn about the unification of Italy and how to represent the same answer in your board paper. Okay, we'll start. Before starting the unification process, we need to understand how Italy was fragmented into small pieces. Okay, yes, on the board you can see different parts of Italy written. For example, Piedmont, Sardinia, Lombardy, Venetia, Parma, Modena, Tuscany, Papal States and Sicily. So this is two kingdom of Sicily, Upper Sicily and Lower Sicily. And if you write about the fragmentation of Italy, for sure you will get 1 mark to 1.5 mark. Okay, we'll start. The unification of Italy starts from fragmentation. Yes, listen very carefully. The places like Lombardy and Venetia was under the direct control of Austrian prince. Lombardy, Venetia was directly controlled by Austrian prince. Parma, Modena, Tuscany, these places was also controlled by the Habsburg Empire, which means it was indirectly controlled by the Austrian prince. So totally, the whole northern Italy was under the control of Austrian king, directly or indirectly. And we have Papal State, which was controlled by Pope. Papal State was controlled by Pope. We all know that who is Pope. Pope is the head of Roman Catholics. And two Sicilian kingdoms was under the control of Bourbon dynasty of Spain. Upper Sicily, Lower Sicily, both was controlled by Bourbon dynasty of Spain. And Sardinia and Piedmont, which is together called as Savoy Sardinia. Don't get confused. The southern part is called as Sardinia, the northern part is called as Piedmont. Together they are called as Savoy Sardinia, and there is nothing but Kingdom of Sardinia, which was controlled by the Italian king Victor Emmanuel II. Out of all these places, only two places were under Italy's king control, that is Sardinia and Piedmont. So unification process nothing but to bring back all these places to Italy's kingdom, and that will be the unification process. Okay, I repeat, to bring all these places back to Italy's kingdom. By writing the answer, how should you represent the answer? The northern Italy was controlled by Austrian Empire. The central Italy, that is Papal State, was controlled by Pope. The southern Italy was controlled by the Habsburg. It was controlled by Bourbon dynasty of Spain. And finally, these two places were under the king Victor Emmanuel II, who is the Italian king. So this is about fragmentation of Italy. And once we start the process of Italy unification, we need to remember 4 important identities names. That is Giuseppe Mazzini, Count Camillo de Cavour, Victor Emmanuel II and Garibaldi. Mazzini and Garibaldi were revolutionaries. Cavour was the chief minister of Italy and King Victor Emmanuel II is the king or the emperor of the Italian kingdom. Okay? The process of the Italian unification was first begun by the revolutionary called Mazzini. He began the unification process in 1830 and 1848, which means he attempted twice for the unification process. Mazzini, you all know that Mazzini had 2 secret societies, Young Italy and Young Europe. By the help of Young Italy and Young Europe, he began the unification process and attempted the unification of Italy for the 2 times, that is twice, which means in 1830 and 1848. But unfortunately, he was unsuccessful. So the unification process starts from Mazzini, 1830, 1848, an unsuccessful attempt for the unification of Italy. Then, when Mazzini failed, obviously the unification process, the responsibility fell in the hands of Victor Emmanuel II. So he took the responsibilities. But the most important person to be noted in the unification process is the chief minister Count Camillo de Cavour, who is called as the brain behind Italian unification. Count Camillo de Cavour is called as the brain behind Italian unification. Why? What is the reason behind it? It's very simple. Now, as we know that we need to bring all these places back to Italy's control. So what Cavour did? Cavour took the help of France. He took the help of French army, he took the help of France and defeated the Austrian Empire in 1859. He defeated Austrian Empire in 1859. So Austria directly and indirectly had 5 places in control: Lombardy, Venetia, Parma, Modena, Tuscany. Out of all these 5 places, 4 places came back to Italy when Cavour defeated Austria with the help of French kingdom, French army. Which are those 4 places? We got Lombardy back, we got Parma back, we got Modena, and also Tuscany. The only place which is left out is Venetia. People need to remember this. Okay. Then what happened? After Cavour took all these places back, now the next step would be about Garibaldi. Garibaldi is also a revolutionary who is a student of Mazzini. He had established his own army called as Red Shirts. Red Shirt is a secret society and also his own army. This information is in your page number 22. Page number 22 in box 2. Page number 22, box 2. This information is given. Garibaldi established his own army called as Red Shirts. With the help of Red Shirts, he also gained the support of local peasants. Red Shirt, local peasants, and many other people supported Garibaldi, and he defeated the Bourbon dynasty of Spain. That was in 1860. 1860, Garibaldi defeated Bourbon dynasty of Spain, and he got the two Sicily kingdom back to Italy. And now we have only 2 places left out. That is Papal State and Venetia. Upper Sicily and Lower Sicily has joined the Italian kingdom. Now what happened? After 1860, you should remember the date called 1861. In 1861, King Victor Emmanuel again declared Italy as the unified Italy. He declared Italy as unified Italy. So the Italy has not yet still unified. We have 2 more places left out. That is Venetia and Papal State. Yes, those 2 more places were not considered to be. Now 1861, Italy was declared as unified Italy, and they call it as L'Italia. L'Italia is nothing but unified Italy, Italian language, and some common people, illiterates, believe that L'Italia is an without awareness, they believe that it's an Victor Emmanuel's wife name. So if someone asks you when was Italy declared unified, it is 1861. But we have 2 more places left out. 1866, Venetia got into Italy's control. There is no such information mentioned in your textbook about Venetia. There is only one picture given in page number 21. Where exactly you can find the date called 1866 right next to Venetia, which means Venetia was merged into Italy in 1866. Then we have Papal State, which is very important. Papal State was ruled by Pope. Pope is a church head. Was ruled by Pope. He is a Christianity's church head. But this Pope was supported by French army. Pope was supported by French army. Now what happened? For some reason, in 1870, French army moved out of Papal State. French army moved out of this Papal State, and Pope had no hope and no support. Now Pope had to surrender to Garibaldi. And actual unification of Italy happened in 1870 and 71. Okay, it's very important. Some of you don't know this. 1861, Italy was declared unified, but there was one more place called Papal State, which was still under the control of Pope. It was not under the control of Italy's king. So now what happened? Pope was supported by French army, and French army moved out of Papal State. So why did they move out of Papal State? What's the reason? That will be told in Unification of Germany concept. So now the French army moved out of Papal State, and Pope had no hope. He got alone, and he had to surrender to Garibaldi. So the final, actual, complete unification of Italy was done in 1877. And this information is also given in your textbook, where in box 2, page number 22, this information is mentioned. If someone asks you when Italy was unified, the declaration was done in 61, but the actual unification was done in 1871. So that's all about your unification of Italy. A 5-marker. Start with fragmentation. Remember these 4 important identities and remember the dates. It's very easy. 30, 48 attempt happened. If you write about Mazzini, you still get half marks and 1 marks. And 59, 60, 61, easy. And finally, don't forget to write 70, 70. Okay, so that's all about the unification of Italy chapter. We'll meet you in next class, and please do comment what next concept will you choose or like to hear from me. Okay guys, thank you.